Hi there, it's Jen with Hidden River Creative, and I'm back again with another tag using the Spellbinders 13 Days of Craftoween 2025 Advent Calendar. Today I'm going to be using the day 8 dies to make this tag. So if you'd like to see how I made this, stay tuned.
Here I have the day 8 dies, which is this cute little skeleton cup. And when I saw this, I immediately thought sugar skull. So that's the direction I'm going. So I also grabbed this Little Blooms die set from Spellbinders to cut out some little flowers in some bright colors because I wanted this to be very sugar skull themed. And then I cut out all my little die cuts for the cup in various colors as well. And I'm just going to start assembling my cup. For the heart eyes on this cup, I chose the smaller heart to go on the inside. That smaller heart is actually the area for the nose. So I just repurposed it for some additional color on the eyes for my skull. So I thought that was cute. Now I'm just going to keep assembling my cup here. I cut all my pieces just from scrap cardstock that I've had for a while. So for the liquid part of my cup, I chose a turquoise blue color. And then for my straw, I chose an orange and a pink. My little ghosty here, I am putting a piece of gray cardstock behind the eyes and the mouth. You don't have to do that. It's really up to you, but I chose to do that. I didn't want to use black because I thought that was too stark for the ghost, so I just used a gray. Then for this bottom piece here, I'm also using the turquoise behind those teeth, and then my marshmallows I just cut from a white scrap piece of cardstock. I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape so that I can put my straw and my little stir stick, my bat stir stick behind that. So I'll just put a couple pieces of Gina K foam squares on there, adhere that like so, and then I'm gonna start placing my additional pieces. For my ghost, I thought it was a little bit too white, so I just took some leftover grayish ink from one of my blending brushes and did the outside of the ghost, and then I also put a little bit on my marshmallows there just to make them look a little bit different than the cup. So now I'm just kind of figuring out where I want each of these pieces to go before I start gluing things down. And they just fit right behind those marshmallows very nicely. For my tag backer, I just cut a piece of like a yellow marigold color cardstock and glued that to the top of my Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound tag cut to the same size. And as I was putting this down onto my tag, I thought it needed a little interest in the background. So I ran that through an embossing folder. It's the Seamless Floral embossing folder from Spellbinders. So I just ran that whole tag through and then hole punched a hole and put in an eyelet like I've done with most of my other tags that I've created with this advent calendar. And now I'm just going to start assembling the rest of my tag. So for my skull, I thought that it looked a little bare, so I added another little flower from the Little Blooms die set to the top of the skull there. And now I'm just going to figure out how I want to arrange these flowers. And so I'm going to play some music while I arrange and adhere all of this down. Isn't that cute? I love this so much. It's so bright, yet so Halloween still. So now I'm just taking some black rhinestones and slapping those on here like so. These are all the same size, and then as I continue to look at it as I'm putting these on, I hate it. So I'm gonna go back into my stash and look for some larger size embellishments to go on here because I don't like it when they're all the same size. So I will end up taking these off to grab some larger ones so that it doesn't look so odd. And again, these, excuse me, these embellishments are just ones that I've had on hand for years and pretty sure they're from Stampin' Up. And then I'm going to grab some clear rhinestones to put in for the eyes. And then I need to do my sentiment. So I grabbed my Halloween Icons press plate again and my Glimmer machine. I got some black foil from Altenew to foil my sentiment. You place that on shiny side down, the pretty side down, then put your paper on top of that, and then put on your shim and your clear plate and run that through your die cut machine. I have found when you're doing this, if you place your plate on to your machine and let it heat up before you put your foil on, you get much better results. It foils perfectly every time. And when you're running it through your die cut machine, run it through slowly. Don't crank it through like you would a normal die cut. Just be very slow and intentional about it, and you will get great results. So out of all the sentiments that I cut, I decided that Happy Halloween was the one. Nope, Happy Haunting was the one I wanted to choose. Just because it was a little bit smaller, the Happy Halloween just extended too far past the cup itself. Sorry, I just had like a brain freeze there. Wasn't sure what I was going to say. And then I'm just going to put on the ends some foam squares. And then in the middle, I will use liquid glue because that center flower is popped up. So there's a little bit of uneven dimension there. So I wanted to make sure that my sentiment strip was as flat as possible. So I'm just going to place that down, make sure it's straight. Perfect. And then I'm going to bring in my ribbon. And I chose quite a few pieces of brightly colored ribbon that matched the colors that I used on my tag. And I'm going to feed those through like I have on all of my other tags. And then I will tie it off with my black piece of ribbon there. So just pushing these through, I need to use my tweezers to get that through that eyelet hole. It's actually quite a tight fit. And then I'll come in with my wired ribbon with my polka dots showing on the outside, and I will tie that off in a cute little bow. And then that will be the end of this tag. I really, really like this one because of the bright colors on it. It's not traditional Halloween, but really that cup just really made me think of a sugar skull. So that's the direction I went. And then the bright colors just kind of played into that theme. So I'm going to trim all of my ribbon pieces off here at an angle just to make my tag look finished. I'll trim each one. I'm making sure to make them kind of different lengths because I don't want them all to be the same length of ribbon because it just looks more interesting that way. And when you're cutting ribbon, make sure you have very sharp scissors or you'll get a frayed edge. And there's the tag. Love it. Thank you so much again for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you all on the next video with another tag from the 13 Days of Craftoween Advent Calendar. Thank you.